Okay, so someone in the comments asked if I had showed the person who took Oinker if I showed them how to make the formula and everything and talk them through everything. So I decided, well, since I've already had that question asked, I might as well go ahead and show you guys so that anybody else who comes into this situation has more of an idea as to what to do and how to do it. So with the formula, I'm using this KMR, and it is just like mother's milk, and it is good for newborns up to 6 weeks. This is a powder. It does come in a liquid form as well. It comes with a handy dandy little scooper, and so I take the scooper and scoop the formula, and I push it up against the side of the container so it's full, and then I put it in this bowl here. That's it. Now my babies are almost 4 whole weeks old. I think they're 24 days today, and so I make 2 scoops into this glass bowl. Once you open this can, it has to stay refrigerated. So we're going to go ahead and put it back in the refrigerator, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so next, I have it in the bowl, and I just kind of chunk it up and separate it all over into the bowl. As I'm doing this, I just preheated in our handy dandy little microwave over here. I have another bowl, same size, and I microwave that water that's in that bowl. I got my handy dandy little pot holder so I don't burn myself. But here's the water, boiling water. And now the way I'm measuring it, because of the babies being so small, and they were constipated for a couple of days and didn't go duty. So the container on the formula says 1 part formula, 2 parts water. So the scoop in the formula is 1 tablespoon. And the scoop I'm using here is a 2 tablespoon. Now I have 2 scoops of formula in this bowl. So I put 4 tablespoons, and then I add just a hair more because our babies were dehydrated and were constipated too, so they needed more water in their formula, and also it seemed to help them digest it better. They seemed to be extremely weak, so I did it at normal strength, and they were having a real hard time swallowing it. They were also so small that it was hard for them to latch onto the nipple. So let me flip this over here so you can see. And now you've got the water, boiling water with the chunks of formula. And you have to make sure that all of the chunks are out. There can be no chunks. If there's any chunks in this when you put it in the bottle, it will clog up the nipple. So I just take it, and little by little I take all the chunks, and you can see I'm grinding them up against the side of the bowl here so that they're all squished up and diluted. And I just do that, and I'll mash up all of that, and it takes me a couple minutes. Make sure you be careful because the water is hot, so if you got your hands on the bowl to hold the bowl still, you want to make sure you don't burn your hands as well. Like I said, I'm putting boiling water in here. I microwave it for 3 minutes, and it does boil in there. And so that helps the formula break down and dissolve as well. So we're going to, and you can hear the babies in the background probably. They're squawking because it's almost time to eat. So I figured this would be the perfect time to do a video and show you guys how I prepare the formula. And it does take a couple minutes, you know. It takes probably a good 10 minutes. And I am kind of OCD, So I go through and I make sure, like, see, there's some clumps. So I'll push it all off of the spoon, put it back in the formula or in the bowl, and just grind it up against the side of the bowl. And then what I do is I have bottles. Here's one of the bottles. I got this from PetSmart. I don't know what kind of bottle it is. It's a 2-ounce bottle. It's got little markings. I don't know if you can see the little markings here. Each one of these little notches is 15 milliliters, equaling up to 2 ounces. And then it does come with some of these cutesy-wootsy little nipples. With these babies, this nipple was not adequate. They could not get any milk out of it. So I took a thumbtack and started pulling at the nipple. This one I actually used scissors on. You can see, maybe. Is it focus? Oh, I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, there you go. I used scissors to cut a little hole in it. And you want to make sure that when you tip the bottle upside down, that it comes out one drip at a time. So you don't want to have to squeeze it, but you don't want it to drip out very fast, and you sure don't want it to be running out. You don't want your animals to choke or asphyxiate on the formula while you're trying to feed them. And they will choke on it if it comes out too fast. And with my babies, the twins, I'm pretty sure they were either preemies or they were both in the same sack. They were very small. They're still small compared to the other one, but they're doing well. And so this is almost all diluted. Sometimes I let it sit another minute or so, even after I crushed all of the chunks that I can see, just to make sure that it does all dissolve. And then what I do is I have a teeny tiny little funnel. Let me see, where did I just put the funnel? Oh, I knocked it over. Hang on, let me get that. All right, so I have this teeny tiny little bitty funnel that I got with some cobalt blue glass containers for my essential oils. So I use this and put it on the top of the baby's bottle. And let me see if I can turn you around here a bit. And I literally scoop the formula 1 spoonful at a time into the bottle. This way I am reassuring myself that there are no chunks in there, and it gets it all in there, and I'm not making a big mess trying to pour it from the bowl. Oh, there's a chunk. From the bowl into the bottle and making a big mess all over, wasting it. This formula is still a little bit warm, but as you spoon it into the bottle, it will start to cool off. Not enough that it's going to be cold and the babies can't drink it. But again, another key thing is you want to make sure that the formula is lukewarm to just a little bit warmer than the room temperature, so that they can digest it properly. You don't want it cold straight out of the refrigerator, because it thickens up when it's in the refrigerator, and it'll give them a bellyache and bubbles, or gas, I guess. I call it bubbles, but it gives them gas. And they have to, with them being as young as they are, until they're about 5 months old, or 5 weeks old, they still have to have warm food. And so this is a tedious job of spooning it with a regular tablespoon into this little bitty bottle in the funnel, 1 little scoopful at a time, but it is well worth it. It helps you from making a mess, and it also makes sure that there's no clumps in it, because as you're scooping it through, as you're using this spoon to scoop the formula, you can see those chunks. And if I see a chunk, I'll just tap it on the side of the bowl and squish it, and then mix it in with the formula so that it's all diluted and they're getting all of the nutrients that they need. And these babies, the reason I made 2 scoops of the formula with the 4 scoops of water is because these babies are eating more now. Since they are older, and the older they get, they will take more formula each feeding. And so I make sure that I have enough formula for both of them. And this 2 scoops will give them 2 full, sometimes 3 feedings, depending on if they gobble it all up or if they just eat enough until they're full and then they leave the rest. Now here's the original nipple that we use, because this is the one that works the best. And you see it's all kind of tattered and twonky. That's the one that I use the thumbtack on. And I just used a thumbtack and stuck it in the hole and kind of pulled at it a hair little by little until I got enough of a hole that the formula was dripping out. I'm smashing clumps real quick, because there's a couple of clumps. At the end of your formula, you will find that there are more clumps. Come on. There we go. Now we just mash it against the side here. Make sure it's all nice and diluted. There's still a little bit of formula on my spoon. So, not everybody's going to be interested in this video, and if you're not, I'm sorry, but I figured these are the things that I'm doing right now. My channel is Relentless Growth, so you're going to learn a little bit about anything and everything that comes my way that I'm doing, because that's just the way it is. You never know what you're going to learn, whether you're going to watch me make baby formula, give them a bath, feed them, show you how to make them go pee and poop. So because as little as they are, when they're little like that, and up until they are about 5 weeks old, you still also have to assist them in peeing and pooping, just like a mother would. The mother kitty usually would lick the babies, and that would stimulate them to do their duties, whether that be pee or poop or both. But the mama cat licks their babies and stimulates them to do their business. Well, I'm not a cat, and I'm definitely not going to lick a cat. I'm not saying that you can't, I'm just saying that that's not my cup of tea. So, I use a fuzzy washcloth. Now, the extra that we're not going to use right now, I put in the refrigerator. And then this here had a little left over from last feeding, but it was not enough for them to have a full feeding. So, I put that in here, added the rest of the bowl into that bottle with the original nipple on it. And now I take this cup of water and I microwave it for 1 minute so that it's hot, because the milk in this, half of it was refrigerated, so it was quite cold. The other half just came out of the formula bowl that you watched me make. So we're going to microwave this for a minute. I'm going to stick this bottle in the cup of water and let it warm up and mix it around from time to time. And then when it's time, when I feel that the milk is warm inside and it's not just the bottle, I test it on my wrist, just like you would a regular baby's formula. See if it's warm or not. That obviously isn't, because I just got it out of the refrigerator. And then you proceed to feed them. So that is pretty much how you make the formula. So, I hope that that was helpful for you guys and useful. Like I said, I know not everybody's going to be interested in it. And when we first got these babies were so young that they couldn't latch on and they couldn't suck on the nipple. It was very difficult for them to even get the nipple in their mouth. So what I had to do was I had a little medicine dropper that was cleaned out and sanitized in my animal box in the back room. And so I was using a medicine dropper and putting 1 drop at a time in their mouth and making sure that they would swallow so that they could still get the nutrients they needed. And that went on for a couple of days, and they have to be fed a maximum of every 2 hours. And that's because we did find them as newborns. They were only a couple of days old. They weren't really moving around. They were crying, but they didn't have their eyes open. I mean, they literally were so small that they fit in my hand. So, and for all you guys wondering, well, are you sure that the mama abandoned them? Yes, the mama abandoned them. One, we're not exactly sure what mama it was, but we're pretty sure it was the gray one that we've seen before. But I haven't seen her since. There is a couple of other mamas out here, but they have babies. And we have not seen another cat in the yard since I found these guys. So, and that was real quick because half of this was already warm. So we do know that the babies were abandoned. And so then, of course, they were out in my flower bed in direct sun for an entire day. By 8 o'clock, I decided, okay, we can't leave these babies out here because it's not right. Our heat index that day was 110. So it was already detrimental. And so we decided that we were going to go ahead and bring them in and nurse them to health, because I tried to call the pound, and the pound had 5 minutes before they were closing, and they said that they would not take my kitties. Even though the law says that if they're abandoned and they're in the local area, they have to. They said they wouldn't. So it was all on me and Ben. And of course, Ben's working 7 days a week, so it's on me. And I'm not going to let these babies die. So I hope that this was helpful and useful for you guys in case you ever come across this situation. Or if you need any pointers or tips. That's basically how I do it, and that's how I learned to do it, through a bunch of information that I've actually read and I've watched on YouTube. So I do appreciate you guys following me and watching me. We're doing what we can to keep them alive. They're doing really well. And actually, I know it's kind of dark, but let me see if I can give you a quick shot of them. Let's see. Show you. There's the two babies. Hi, my babies. That's twin 2. And the one laying down is twin 1. There she is. And they know it's time to eat. And you can see now they have their eyes open. And they are walking, and he'll come right to me. Come on, my baby. Come on. That's a good boy. They know it's time to eat. So, here's his pretty little markings. He's a beautiful baby. Oh, let's see if we can turn you around here. Here, turn you around a minute. There he is. Beautiful, long-haired kitty. Doing really well. It is time to eat, so we're going to get these fuzzy little rags and feed him. And make sure that you guys like and subscribe to my channel for more videos on updates on these babies and all the other things that I'm actually doing, because I'm not just doing kitties. This just happens to be our main job right now, is taking care of these kitties. And once they're 8 weeks old, then we have to find homes for them. So we're going to rehome them and give them good homes where they can be loved and taken care of. So remember, just like this kitty, you are someone. You do matter. And I love you. Thank you for watching. Again, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Until then, have a blessed day. Ciao now.